Hi, this is Dr. Michael Didano. The purpose of this video is to go over the format for your proposal for this course, EDF6481. Now, most of the material that I'm going to cover in this presentation can be found in your APA Manual, 6th edition, Chapter 2, page 21. In addition, on page 41, you have an exact example of how your manuscript should look, which is what I'm going to cover here. This presentation will take about 10 minutes, so let's get started. So here you see the cover page for your proposal. In the upper top portion, in the header, you have your running head, short title of your manuscript, and your page number. Note that your short title of manuscript is all capitals. This is a shorter title of your entire manuscript title that you have in the center of your page, as you can see here. Typed in the center is your title of your manuscript. This should be no more than 12 words. Below that, you should have your name and then your affiliation, which in this case will be Florida Atlantic University. Note that the title should be typed in uppercase and lowercase letters. It's centered between the left and right hand margins. Uppercase and lowercase is based on the number of letters in the word. Typically 3 letters or less would be lowercase, over 3 letters would be uppercase. However, if a 2-letter word is significant in your title, you can go ahead and capitalize it. So, for example, in the title that I have here, I have capitalized the word no, because I believe it to be significant in this title. Again, uppercase and lowercase, typically 3 letters or less, lowercase, anything over 3 letters, uppercase. Moving on to page 2, which is where you will have your abstract. As you notice, your short manuscript title is by itself. You do not type running head. You keep the short manuscript title in capital, but again, no running head before it. You have your page 2 as well. Right below that, you have centered abstract. Below that, you have a summary of your proposal. This is typically 1 to 2 sentences from each of your section of the proposal. The abstract should be standalone, which means you're going to have no references in it. You typically will include your statement of your research question, your independent, dependent variables, planned population, anticipated data analysis, and expected results. Your total word count for the abstract should be between 145 and 150 words max. Now below the abstract, you have keywords. Note that keywords is in italics. The keywords themselves are not in italics. These are 6 to 8 keywords that would direct researchers to your work. When you've gone online to do your lit search, you have most likely typed in various keywords to find your study that's of interest. This is where you put these keywords. Again, 6 to 8 keywords goes on your cover page. Moving on to your third page, this is where you start your introduction. Again, as you see on top, short title of manuscript, page 3. Right below that, you have title of manuscript. This is the same title that went on your cover page in the center of the page. Right below that is where your introduction begins. So this is essentially the section where you include your references that you created earlier in the class. Now think about your introduction as being a sales pitch. This is where you're going to provide evidence and rationale as to why a committee or funding agency should authorize your research. There will be an additional video that will discuss this in more detail. Now the last paragraph of your introduction should contain a statement of the purpose of your proposed study. This paragraph should include your hypotheses and your independent and dependent variables. Now once you've completed your introduction and that last paragraph that states your proposed study, you're going to go into your method section. As you can see here, method is in bold and centered. Below that, you have subheadings. You do not need to use subheadings, but I believe them to make the method section a bit easier to read. You can have an anticipated participants. This is where you're going to describe your anticipated sample. This may be a college population, anticipated age from 18 to 50. 40% male, 60% female, anticipated racial and ethnic background, any detail that you believe is relevant to the anticipated population. Next, you're going to go into your materials. This is where you're going to describe the materials, any equipment, surveys, questionnaires. You want to talk about these. You may be using a questionnaire, for example. You want to talk about the questionnaire, who created it, any statistical information on it, maybe its relative reliability, if it's a Likert scale. Now also in this section, you'll want to include a couple of samples of the questions and how the response options are. Once you complete your materials, you want to go into your procedure. Now this is where you want to provide a detailed overview of the procedure. You want to be able to walk the person through exactly how this study is going to be conducted. Essentially, once they read this materials and procedure section, they should be able to duplicate your study, replicate your study. So it's important to provide extensive detail on the materials and the procedure. Once you complete this, you're going to go into your data analysis and anticipated results. This is where you're going to describe your statistical analyses. Be sure to include your dependent variables and the specific statistical analyses. You may be conducting an ANOVA. You want to identify your independent and dependent variables with that. You also want to mention that you're going to be doing some type of descriptive statistics to identify gender, ethnic, and racial aspects of your population, and any other analysis that you believe is relevant to your study. We will talk more about this in future video presentations. After your data analysis and anticipated results section, you're going to start your references. This is always on a new page. At the top, you'll have references. Again, as you can see here, it's in bold. I would suggest that you see Chapter 7 of your APA publication manual for examples of references. And remember, as with your entire document, references are double spaced. This concludes the presentation on how to format your proposal for this class, EDF6481. I hope you found some valued information in this presentation. Please don't hesitate to contact me via Skype or email if you have additional questions. I look forward to our continued work on your proposal, and enjoy the day.